and welcome to Tasting with Mike and Matt. I'm Mike Veach, and this is my partner in crime, Matt Kohorst.
Howdy.
And today we're doing a special tribute to my good friend Al Young.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away around Christmas time, right before Christmas Day, I believe, in 2019. And this will be 5 years since his passing, and I wanted something to a tribute to him.
Yeah.
So what better tribute than to drink some of the whiskey that he helped design, helped blend for his 50th anniversary at Four Roses.
50th anniversary.
Yeah, he worked there for 50 years.
Wow.
Well, actually, he worked there for more than 50 years because actually, we have two bottles here. One's unopened, one of them is open, as you can tell. Matt loves to grab a drink of it every time he comes over.
Yeah, I do. It's probably my favorite bourbon.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But he signed this one here. It says, "For Mike and Rosemary, thanks for your friendship. Cheers, Al Young, 8/30/17."
So this was 2017.
Yeah, and he died 3 years later. That's what his legacy bourbon here basically is what we have.
So 50 years. Where did he start? How did he start out? Was he just like a...
He just started out working as a chemist, I believe, in the lab or whatever. But anyway, he was plant manager when he retired. Mm-hmm. And, well, when he was officially retired, but then hired again as a brand ambassador.
Oh, okay.
Because he spent 5 years or so before 2017 as a brand ambassador, you know.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy. Loved his history. I used to joke he was my first camp follower, I guess you could say. He would show up at my talks, you know, including one time I gave a talk at the Getz Museum. Mm-hmm. And it was snowing like hell on my drive down there. Yeah. And I thought, there ain't nobody going to be here for this talk tonight. Well, I had 3 other people and Al Young who drove all the way from Lexington to the Getz Museum in Bardstown in the snow just to hear me talk.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So I went, when his book came out, we did a couple of bourbon tasting book signings, one at the Filson and one at the Hunt Morgan House in Lexington. Mm-hmm. So I was involved with both of those and everything, and he was just a great friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't think I ever got a chance to meet him, but I really wish I would have. Yeah.
Well, here's Al Young, Four Roses, 2017 limited edition, 50th anniversary. It is 108.4 or 0.4 proof, I believe it'll be. And it is made up with OBSF 12-year-old, OBSK 15-year-old, OBSV 23-year-old, wow, and OESV 13-year-old. So it's the 4 whiskeys that are in it. One of the best tastings I ever went to was at the Fraser Museum. Mm-hmm. And Rosemary and I both went to it, and we loved it. Al Young gave the presentation, and the tasting had these 4 whiskeys. And he talked about why he picked these 4 whiskeys and what percentages and everything. And it was really a fascinating talk.
Oh, I bet. Oh, man. Would have loved to be there. So my little history with this bottle is whenever Mike and Tia, Rosemary, would go out of town, you guys would always ask me to, you know, just kind of house sit a little bit. And the big kicker was, as Mike says, You can taste anything you want.
As long as the bottle's already open.
As long as the bottle's already open. Yeah, that's a real, yeah. And I've tasted a lot of things. And I specifically remember the day I tasted this one and thinking, that's something that may be the best whiskey, best bourbon I've ever tasted. And it still holds true. Because I just tasted it last week again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What a nose. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And caramel. Hints of chocolate.
Yeah, you get that little bit of a fruitiness. Like apples, pears.
Yeah. The complexity is just, it's.
Yeah. A little bit of spice. Like nutmeg, ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a sip.
It's like sweet caramel, hints of citrus in there. Even like a little bit of, maybe like a little sour cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finish is amazing. It's got like just like a little bit of leather, a good amount of oak, but nothing overpowering. Just blended.
What
so
I like
perfectly.
about it, it's got oak in it, but it doesn't taste like you're chewing off a barrel stave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got a very nice, pleasant oak dryness to it, but it isn't bitter dry.
Right. Yeah.
It's got that caramel, chocolate, vanilla. It's got that fruit, like I said, apples, pears. You're like, right, maybe a little bit of a cherry. It's got spices, but it's like, you know, ginger and maybe allspice.
Yeah.
And it's just a very good whiskey. You know, Al Young helped put this whiskey together in the blend and
Just knocked it out of the park.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Him and Brent Elliott sat down and went through and did this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I gotta give Brent Elliott some credit too. You know, but Al had the final word on everything, and
Yeah. I mean, it's just a special bottle.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try it with cranberry.
What I really like about that is that it just kind of maintained all the characters that I enjoyed from drinking it neat, and took on maybe like even more of that sour cherry.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit more of that caramel, and those spices are kicking in.
Right.
Finish is great. And it makes the finish kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought it was everything that you tasted before, but the caramel and the fruit just went on steroids. You know, really came forward.
Yeah.
I really liked it with the cranberry.
I'm really excited because, you know, I've only had it neat, so to pair it with these flavors is great.
Let's see what pecan does for it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the pecan. Caramel, chocolate.
Not as much fruit,
Not as much fruit.
but a little bit more spice, and the spice becomes more of a black pepper, particularly on the finish.
And the finish hits me with, just like a little more leather on the finish on that. Nice warm oak. I mean, it's... Oh, now I'm getting a little bit of like maybe a little bit of citrusy notes in there after that second, a little sip. But yeah, I mean, It's a wow factor there. You know,
Yeah.
like this is definitely probably my favorite. So, yeah, I think it was a good pick.
Now, I gotta warn you, when we did that tasting of Al Young, he ended it with the tasting of this with chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good.
Kind of warning I like.
I mean, that caramel just really comes
Yeah.
forward.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And you get a little bit of a butterscotch. You're getting
Like a Werther's original kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting a bit more. The fruit becomes, to me, less of apple pear, more of a peach apricot.
Mm-hmm. And the finish, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now it's
finish.
rich. It's like that chocolate kind of sits there too. Like it's like oak and chocolate and the hint of leather there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very, very good stuff.
It's just like those little. I don't know if you ever had them. They're very big in Germany. I had a girlfriend in high school whose mother was German, and she always had these little foil wrapped chocolate Santas, basically, or little shapes, and they were filled with different flavors of schnapps.
Oh really? I've never had that before.
And a chocolate peach schnapps, almost. You get a little hint of that. Not quite as strong in the peach, but
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff is so good. Yeah. I don't know. Like I've tasted a lot of stuff, and this one is probably my number one, I will say.
So
I've said that for a while.
yes. So, in memory of Al Young,
Yeah.
I miss you every day, practically, and here's to Al Young and Four Roses. Cheers.
Cheers.
And remember, if you like this video, to hit subscribe and tell your friends. And always remember to drink responsibly.